أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين ماذا دعا رسول ماذا دعا رسول أصحاب رسول ماذا دعا رسول ولا شاء الله فاسم الشيخ محمد ناصر قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خطوتان أحدهما أحب الخطى إلى الله عز وجل والأخرى أبغض الخطى إلى الله فأما التي يحبها فرجل نظر إلى خلل في الصف فسده وأما الذي يبغض فإذا أراد الرجل أن يقوم مد رجله اليمنى ووضع يده عليها وأثبت يسرى ثم قام. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki iki adam vardır ki biri Allah'ın çok sevdiği biri de en çok buğz ettiği adamdır. Yani sevmediği insandır buyuruyor.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, there are two men. One of them is beloved and dear to Allah Almighty. The other one is disliked by Allah Almighty.
Allah Azze ve Celle'nin en çok sevdiği adam diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. Kişinin bir saftaki boşluğa bakıp tabi adım atarak onun doldurmalısıdır.
And who is the one who is most beloved to Allah Almighty and who is most dear to Allah Almighty? Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes the one whom Allah Almighty loves is the one that when during the prayer and congregation sees a gap, then makes a step in order to fill in that gap when the rows are formed in order to fulfill the prayer in congregation.
Yani boş namazlık safları dolduran insan Allah'ın sevdiği kullar, en sevdiği kuldur.
Allah Almighty loves those, and He loves those the most, who, when they see gaps in the rows, when praying in congregation, those fill in those gaps.
Diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. Yani safta boşluk varsa onu muhakkak kapatın diyor.
Thus, our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, on the one side describes whom Allah Almighty loves, and on the other side commands us to make sure that we keep our rows and lines proper during prayer and congregation, and that when we see an opening or a gap, that we fill in that gap.
En sevmediği adam ise kişinin kalkacağı zaman sağ ayağını uzatarak elini üzerine koyup sol ayağını doğrultuktan sonra kalkmasıdır. Yani namazda ayağını huzursuz olarak ayağını uzatıp da doğrudan kalkmayan, onu uzatıp da ayağını bir şeyler yapıp da kalkan, onu da Allah Azze ve Celle sevmez. Özürlü olmadıktan sonra bu hareket yapmak Allah'ın hoşuna gitmez, sevmez.
And who is the man whom Allah Almighty dislikes? Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that the one who does not have proper conduct and proper manner during prayer is the one whom Allah Almighty dislikes. Allah Almighty dislikes the one who does not sit or stand or move properly during prayer, but, for example, stretches his feet and stands up not properly, but leaning to one side or the other side. And those who do not show that proper conduct during the movements of the prayer are the ones whom Allah Almighty dislikes. And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that there may be people who may have excuses, who cannot do otherwise, but if you do so without any excuse or any condition, then those people are disliked by Allah Almighty.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خياركم ألينكم مناكب في الصلاة. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki sizin en hayırlınız namazda omuzları en yumuşak, yani huşu içinde ya da arkadan safa katılmak isteyenler karşı müsamahakar olandır.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes the great reward that when standing in prayer for a congregation, it is most blessed that when you stand in prayer, you stand properly, you stand still, in awe, knowing to stand in the presence of Allah Almighty, and that you don't stay tight, but keep your shoulders loose to the extent that so that people can join your row.
Yani namazda şimdi duruyor safta, bir sert duruyor ki kimse yanına yaklaşmasın, o şey yapmasın. Halbuki
so, for example, there are people when they stand in prayer in congregation, they don't allow anyone to join the row. They stand firm and they make their shoulders tight so that nobody can join in between.
Onu yumuşak olup da biri arkadan araya girecekse ona yer veren o en hayırlınız onlardır diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
But our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that the most blessed ones among you are the ones that when they stand in prayer, they stand still, but yet they stand in a gentle manner and allow others to join them in their row when they want, for example, when they're coming from behind and they want to fill in that row, they allow others to join that row while standing still, but not tightening and not hardening their shoulders to prevent others to join.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خير صفوف الرجال أولها وشرها آخرها خير صفوف النساء آخرها وشرها أولها. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki bunlar hep namazda olacak şeyleri. Bazı insanlar başka şey düşünüyor. Ben Peygamber'in bu güzel şeyleri anlatıyor burada bize.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, teaches us about the good manners, the proper conduct, and the good behavior when we are in prayer.
Erkeklerin saflarının en hayırlısı ilk saf.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the most blessed place for the men is to be standing in the first row.
Cemaatin ilk safı oluyor. En kötüsü ise son saftır.
And for men, the worst row to stand in is the last row during the prayer in congregation.
Yani son saf insan ya sünneti kılmadan yetişmiş oluyor ya acele şey yapmış oluyor. Onun için son safta kalmış oluyor.
Because those who stand in the last row, they are generally the ones who come late, who join the Fard prayer without having performed the Sunnah prayer, and who hastily come to prayer.
Onun için o en hayırlısı ilk saf diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Therefore, to be in the first row is the most blessed place for the men to stand in the prayer in congregation.
Kadınların safının en hayırlısı da en son saf.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the most blessed row for women to stand in is the last row.
O da ters oluyor hanımlar için, kadınlar için.
And for women, it's the other way around.
En kötüsü de ilk saftır.
And the worst row to stand in for women is the first row.
İlk safa gelip de ittirek attıra şey alın, o kadınlardan makbul değil, son saf daha makbuldür.
And thus our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that women should not be fighting to be standing in the first row, but it is more blessed and more acceptable for women that they do not fight for the first row. The most blessed place to stand in prayer for them is the last row.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رأس الصفوف فإن الشيطان يقوم في الخلل. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki safları sıkça tutunuz zira şeytan aranızda boşluklarda dolaşır.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that when you pray in congregation, we should make sure that you stand aligned with each other and that you do not leave empty spaces, because Shaitan roams in between those empty spaces.
Şeytan da dolaşır, o insanın namazını bozsun diye, huzurunu götürsün diye.
Shaitan wanders around those empty spaces and gaps when you pray in congregation in order to disturb people during their prayer, in order to nullify their prayers.
O beraber sık olunca yer bulmaz şeytan girmesi için.
However, when you align with each other tightly and when you do not leave any empty space in between of each other, then Shaitan will not find space to roam during prayer in between you.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رأس صفوفكم وقارب بينها وحادوا بالأعناق. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor gene saflarınızı sıkça tutunuz.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, repeats and to stand tight in prayer and to make sure that there's no empty space in between.
Ve boyunlarınızı bir hizaya getirin.
And when you stand in a row, you should ensure that you are standing in a straight line.
Yani düzgün olsun saflarınız. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
So our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, urges us to make sure that the rows, when we pray in congregation, are proper.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم سووا صفوفكم فإن تشتيت الصفوف من إقامة الصلاة. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki saflarınızı düzgün tutun. Zira saflar düzgün tutmak namazı tamam verici hususlardadır.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, reiterates, make sure that your rows during prayer in congregation are proper, because when your rows are proper, then this will lead to the completeness of your prayer.
Yani tamam namazın en mükemmel şekilde saflar düzgün olsun. Eğri büğrü değil, düz bir saf olsun.
To form a straight line, to stand in proper rows during the prayer of congregation is an indication of the fulfillment of the prayer.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم سووا صفوفكم ولا تختلف قلوبكم. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki saflarınızı düzgün tutunuz ki bu şekilde kalplerinize ihtilaf düşmez yani.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, continues to enumerate the blessings and merits of standing in proper rows during the prayer in congregation. And our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, says, stand properly during the prayer when you pray in congregation, in order to prevent shaitan from spreading discord in your hearts.
Saflar düzgün olunca kalpler de düzgün olur.
When the rows are proper, when the rows are sound, so will be your hearts.
Girmez, vesvese başka şeyler girmez safranıza.
When your rows are proper, then shaitan will not have the chance to enter your hearts to spread discord or make whisperings into your hearts.
Kalbinize. قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم سووا صفوفكم أو لا يخالفن الله بين وجوهكم. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki saflarınızı düzeltin, namazdaki safları. Yoksa Allah yüzlerinizi, kalplerinizi birbirine muhalif kılacaktır.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, commands again, make sure that your lines when you pray in congregation are straight and proper, and that you stand aligned in a straight line, because if you do not form your rows properly, then there will be discord among you. There will be discord against each other in your hearts and in your faces.
Yani saflar düzgün olmasa vakit cemaat birbirine düzgün olmaz.
If the rows of a Jama'ah are not proper, so will the people within that Jama'ah not be in a sound relationship to each other.
Boz eder, kalpleri bozulmuş olur.
Those who break the rows during the prayer in congregation will thus also have broken their hearts to each other.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ثلاثة يضحك الله إليهم الرجل إذا قام من الليل يصلي والقوم إذا صفوا للصلاة والقوم إذا صفوا للقتال. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki Allah şu üç kişiden razı olur.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that Allah Almighty is pleased with these three people.
Onlara merhamet eder.
And Allah Almighty will shower His mercy on these three people.
Bunlar gece namazına kalkan kimse.
Those who stand up nighttime for night prayers.
Birincisi gece namazını teheccüde falan kalkan insan.
Those who stand up during nighttime in order to perform, for example, tahajjud, those are the ones with whom Allah Almighty is pleased.
Onu Allah razı oldu ondan. Namaz için saf tutan topluluk.
And second, Allah Almighty is pleased with those people who pray in congregation and stand in proper rows during their prayer.
Cemaat yani. Ve savaş için dizilen topluluk, onlar da yine saf tutan, savaş için saf tutan topluluklar, Allah onlardan da razı olur, hoşnut olur.
And third, Allah Almighty is pleased with those who during war or when they fight also stand in proper lines and proper rows.
قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم صاحب الصف وصاحب الجمعة لا يفضل هذا على هذا ولا هذا على هذا. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki sürekli olan birinci safta namaz kılan ile sürekli olarak cuma namazını kılan kişiler eşittir. Yani sevap olarak biri diğerinden daha üstün değildir. İkisi de büyük fazilet nail olmuş olur. Onun için birinci safhaya cuma namazına devam edenler aynı seviyededir diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, praises those who continuously perform their prayers in congregation and perform their prayers in the first row, and he compares them with those who continuously perform a Jummah prayer, and he says that both have the same degree of blessings. Those two acts, to continuously try to perform one's prayer in congregation in the first row, is blessed with great rewards, and so is continuously performing one's Jummah prayer, blessed with great rewards.
قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لو يعلم الناس ما في النداء والصف الأول ثم لم يجدوا إلا أن يستهموا عليه لاستهموا ولو يعلم ما في التهجير لا استبقوا إليه ولا يعلم ما في العتمة والصبح لا أتوهما ولو حبوا. Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem buyuruyor ki insanlar ezan okumak ve namazda birinci safta bulunmaktan dolayı neler sevaplar olduğunu bilselerdi. Yani bu hem ezan okumak hem birinci safta namaz kılmak, sonra bunları yapabilmek için kura çekmek zorunda kalsalardı kura çekerlerdi. Yani bu iki şey için ben mi ezan okuyacağım sen mi okuyacaksın kura yapalım deyip de kazanan okursun. Birinci safta aynı şekilde sevabı o kadar büyüktür ki bunu ihtilaf olmasın diye kura bile yapabilirlerdi diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says that the blessings of reciting the adhan and the blessings of performing the prayer in congregation in the first row are so immense that if people were aware of the blessings and the rewards, they would compete with each other, and they could not decide because everyone would want to be in the first row, everyone would want to recite the adhan, so they would need to draw lots or to make a lottery who is going to win, to be the one to recite the adhan or to be the one who will stand in the first row.
Eğer cemaatte erken yetişmekte neler olduğunu bilselerdi, birbiriyle yarışa girerlerdi.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that if people knew the immense blessings and rewards of performing one's prayer in congregation, they would come racing to the community to pray in congregation.
Gene cemaate, camiye erken hangisi daha erken gelirse ne kadar olur cevap alacağını bilse hepsi yarışırdı diyor Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes as people knew the blessings of performing one's prayer in a congregation and being in the first row. If people knew the immense blessings, they would compete with each other to be there first.
Eğer yatsı namazı ile sabah namazda neler olduğunu bilselerdi, bu iki namaza da emekleyerek bile olsa gelirlerdi.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, describes that if people knew about the immense blessings of performing Isha or Fajr prayer in congregation, they would come crawling to those prayers.
Yani yürüyemezlerse bile sürünerek o sevabı kazanmak için gelirlerdi diyor.
So even if they were unable to walk, our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says they would come crawling to those prayers in order to receive those blessings.
Peygamber sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem. صدق رسول الله فيما قال أو كما قال زيادة شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أصحاب الكرام وإلى أرواح جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين قدماء الشرع والأمة الأربعة وإلى أرواح مشايخنا في الطريقة المقصودة العالية خاصة إمام الطريقة وأوط الخليقة خواجة بهاء الدين محمد ويسير البخاري سيدنا عبد الخالق الرجواني مولانا شيخ شرف الدين دارستاني مولانا شيخ عبد الله فاز دارستاني مولانا شيخ محمد ناظم عادل الحقاني وسائر سادات والصديقين ومن حضرات ومجال المسلمين وفضل الرفاقات أجمع مصطفى تراب جمع من جيش بشر الله شهد شهداء الله için. Allah Teala Fatiha.